Senator Cramer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you both, all three, for your service. A special thank you, General Milley, for your decades of service. I want to jump down to talking back about Ukraine a little bit. There have been a lot of reasons, rationale, excuses, perhaps, for not providing certain advanced weapon systems, some legitimate, I'm sure, maybe all of them, I don't know. But, of course, oftentimes it leads to eventually providing them. But one system we've never offered, and I haven't heard a lot of talk about it, are the MQ-9s. But seeing how we just lost one recently in the Black Sea, where it's probably more likely to be recovered by Russia than the United States, and the fact that the Air Force wants to retire 48 older MQ-9s, is there any chance that the MQ-9 would be a reasonable system to offer Ukraine? Either one, or maybe start with Secretary Austin.
Yeah, as we look at this, Senator, as you know, that air domain is a very hostile airspace because of the capability that the Russians have for air defense, and it is not a survivable platform if they try to use that in that environment.
General Milley, you'd agree?
Yeah, that's number one. It's not survivable. It's big and slow. It's going to get nailed by the Russian air defense systems. And in terms of its capabilities, I'm not sure what it'll get you beyond the smaller, faster, more nimble UAV systems that we are providing, as well as some other countries are providing. So I think that it's a good system for certain uses in certain environments, but in the current situation in Ukraine, it may not be the best system.
Thank you. Secretary Austin, I want to now go to back to China a little bit. And you're probably familiar with what I consider the nearly year and a half of torment that the city of Grand Forks went through while considering an investment by the Chinese Communist Party investors of Fufang, which would have provided a wet corn milling facility 12 miles from the Grand Forks Air Force Base, 12 miles from the 319th Reconnaissance Wing, and now an SDA ground station for low Earth orbiting satellites. After sort of cutting a deal and then going to CFIUS, where CFIUS spent 60 days determining they didn't have jurisdiction, and finally, after, I don't know, 14 months or so of all of this, the Air Force finally came out and said it would present a significant risk, and that, I think, has helped kill the project, although I understand there's now a 90-day pause. My hope for all of that is not only that Grand Forks avoided an unfortunate situation, but that many other communities might avoid it as well. Could you talk to us just a little bit about either in the context of Fufang and Grand Forks or the broader context of, are we giving adequate cover and information and coaching perhaps to other communities around the country? Because it's my understanding that this is not necessarily a unique circumstance to Grand Forks.
Well, first of all, Senator, let me thank you for your personal leadership on this issue. To the point that you're making, this applies to installations all around the United States of America. And we will continue to emphasize to service chiefs, commanders, secretaries, and that we have to be vigilant about what's going on outside of our fences. We got to work with the communities to make sure that we do have some kind of situational awareness, and we have to advocate for the protection of our bases and installations. And again, every one of these cases will be complex, but there are cases that we must take on. But thanks for your leadership in this area. Well,
I appreciate you saying it that way, actually, because I think you're right. I think we need to, quote, take them on, and rather than sort of punt them to the CFIUS process or some other political process, particularly when it comes to the Chinese Communist Party and their involvement and their ability, not just ability, but obvious willingness to do recon in all sorts of manners and ways, and so I appreciate that. And my hope, like I said, is that the experience that Grand Forks went through is not just in vain to the rest of the country, but rather that perhaps sheds a light on this issue throughout the country. So thank you for that. And again, thank you, General Milley, for your decades of service, and I yield. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.